You're fired. What's up, y'all? It's your boy Hamlet Dubois, and we are back bringing you a video talking about how to fire a driver. Alright? Now, I got the truck running because it's pretty hot here. We're in Memphis right now. If you guys can hear me, let me know. You guys got a good comm check, a good audio check. I'm gonna see if this Bluetooth is actually working or if you guys are actually hearing me. Alright? So, we're gonna see who pops up in here to give any shout outs initially, and we'll get started on the live feed. Alright? So, essentially, this video is gonna be about pretty much firing drivers, and we're just gonna have kind of like a long discussion talking about possibly do's and don'ts and reviews on and processes of like firing the driver per se. Alright? So we got two people in here, and we're gonna see if you guys can hear me. Give me a comm check. This is the first time trying out this Bluetooth over the video because I got the truck running, and I just want to make sure you guys can hear me. Let's see if we got any comments. So we got Chill Rocha. Chill Rocha up in the house. First one in. Charles Brandt, fire driver. Good morning. Sounds good. Polo the trucker. Good money. All right. If you're new to the channel, go ahead, mash the like button, mash the subscribe button, hit the bell on your way out, and let's get started. All right. We got Walt Smith and N1EQU. Sounds good. Nuclear Dog. And yeah, so let's get started. All right, folks. So unfortunately, we have to talk about this, right? Because it's a good discussion. Nobody wants to be fired. And as employers, if you're looking to own a fleet, or if you're looking to own 1 or 2 trucks, or if you're looking for having somebody to work for you, it's always a great discussion, morals and all that, to talk about, firing an employee, driver, whatever may have you. So, with the amount of drivers I've been kind of going through, I kind of have, some experience in, dealing with, firing drivers per se, so I wanted to talk about the matter. And it's always, how do I say it? It's always like a big personal thing when trucking companies fire drivers, because they take it personal, the trucking companies, even me myself, because drivers, there's some really crazy people out there, and some people, not saying all drivers, some people, if you tell them on the road, hey, you're fired, some of them will just abandon the truck right then and there, and some of them will just abandon the truck right then and there. And then you also got, so you have to, assess the situation of why you're firing the driver, and if you have any, proof of why you're trying to fire the driver. If you gave this person a chance, or if you just like they did something so bad that you don't want to give them a chance per se. Now, there's another video I did like this, doing a discussion on the SoCal Trucker Gang video on Facebook. Group on Facebook. So if you guys want to join in on that, you guys can see another split thing. We post other stuff on there as well. So back to the topic. It's always going to be a big personal thing, right? Whether the employee is quitting or the company is firing the driver, it's always going to be like a personal thing, and nobody wants to really get screwed over per se, right? The trucking company doesn't want to have the truck running out there and tell the driver, hey, you're fired, and then you literally don't know what the driver is going to do to your truck. He could like dog it out, he could abandon it, he could wreck it, all these other things, Of course, you have, you know, CSA and what is that thing, the DAC report, where you can report things like that on driver's records if they, you know, mistreat your equipment and all that kind of stuff. But you got other drivers out here, right, that are probably not really, that are not into trucking, right? And they come in it and they do some driving, and then probably they just want to get out of it, you know, and or they want to get out of it once you tell them, hey, you're fired. So for them, you know, them abandoning your truck, it really wouldn't even matter to them, because if they're quitting trucking altogether, then the DAC report don't mean anything to them, right? And there's companies out there that, you know, will still hire drivers with abandonment of a truck or whatever, but, you know, there's a lot more companies that won't, though, too. And it just comes down to the fact of why you're firing the driver, and have you had any proof of, you know, the misconduct, or why, you know, the reason why you're firing the person, you know. Typically, you know, you want to kind of have a sit down, hey, and write it out on paper, say, hey, on this day, you know, we talked about this, either, you know, you're not really driving the truck like I'm expecting to, and we're just not making money. And if the company's not making money, you're not making money, and it's just all around bad. You know, definitely have to kind of nip it in the bud. You know, like say, hey, look, we can't do this like this, like next time at all. And then, you know, you can write it in a piece of paper. Hey, on this day, we had a verbal counseling and all that, because here's what's gonna happen. Here's what that can happen. If you had a driver that's been working for you for quite some time, they can go and report unemployment to you, you know, against your company. And because of that, how do I say that? And because of that, they might say, hey, I didn't do anything wrong, and I got let go. So they're gonna try to wanna, you know, claim unemployment. However, way that affects you, that can affect you, that's the big thing. But if you had this paperwork saying, no, look, we counseled this employee on this day, multiple times, or this and that, he's not working, you know. And then a lot of times too is like, you're gonna have drivers when you first go through your first drivers, you know, a lot of drivers will sell you the dream. Hey, I know how to run a truck, and, you know, I know how to get there point A to point B, and I'm not gonna be stopping and all that. You know, they can sell, you know, the employer the dream, but in reality, it might not be actually what the driver is doing. And you got to have yourself like a probationary period for any drivers that you hire, because essentially you're saying, hey, look, if it's just not working out, it's not working out. Like, I already know if this is going to work out in the first or 2 weeks, and I'm just not going to waste my time, and I don't want you to waste your time or my time. Don't waste no time, you know, with doing that, because, you know, at the end of the day, you're just losing money. You know, especially when you have worked so hard to put a truck out of the road and running an expensive business of keeping drivers, per se. I mean, of running a trucking company and all that, all those details. And I forgot what. Man, I lost my train of thought. What else did we want to cover? And then, so another thing that you want to make sure is that, you know, depending on your state where your LLC is formatted at, you might have to give a reason why you're firing a driver, right? Like, you might have to actually, if you're at what is it called, at will state or not at will, you have to give a reason why you're firing the driver. Some states you don't even really need to give a reason why. Or right to work state, there you go, that's what it is. And you don't even really need to give a reason why you're firing the guy. You know what I'm saying? guy or girl, and you definitely want to check up on that. Check out the labor laws that depend on your state, per se. And I think one of the biggest things that I learned when going through 3 drivers so far is that you definitely want to tell them, hey, this is like the company handbook. Like, this is how the company's run. This is what I expect of you. No speeding, or no, hammer down like some values that you emphasize at the top, that hey, like, I don't tolerate this, or what else, or just standard operating procedure, how your company works, the ins and outs. Like, hey, we pick up a load from here to here all the time, and you need to make sure that you don't stop too many times, because you just won't be able to make the pickup, or what may have you. You know what I mean? And because of that, you might be sitting for 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, or however long. So a company handbook is definitely a must when you're looking to hire any drivers. I mean, and then the other thing is just like performance-wise, the driver could be, doing what he has to do, but if the driver is not performing, if he's being late to all the loads, or he's being belligerent to your customers, then that's going to affect you and your reputation. And so it's very, that part is very important, to you. Well, at least for me, I value that quite a bit. And I mean, we're in an industry where this is the importance of being on time. Is that that's how this business is run. It's being on time. You know what I mean? And if the driver can't be on time to the loads, or he's not running your equipment the correct way, or the way you want it, you have to rectify that. You know what I mean? You have to say, like, this is not going to work, or we have to fix this, because what is the issue? Either you're not performing like you should be, or any of that. When you're working for one of these mega companies, right? They don't care about that kind of stuff. Nobody's on you about, hey, can we just you need to make sure you get to do what you got to do, But then that's the other thing. Schneider, other companies, like, they do micromanage you, like, hey, why you're not rolling, and all that kind of stuff, And really, this boils down to what kind of driver you hire. And I think that's really that interview, and telling him, like, yo, look, this is the amount of miles we do here, and this is the equipment. If you're not really feeling it, like, what one little bit, then we just can't work this out, because this is obviously not going to work out, for example. Okay? I haven't seen anybody comment on here, but I just want to make sure you guys are still listening to the mic, and that the audio is still good. All right. And right now we got 13 people in the house, 4 likes. Let's get those likes up, or likes down, whatever you feel on the video. Go ahead and smash that button, okay? I'm trying to think of what else I wanted to talk about. See, I had thought about all these things that I wanted to talk about, and okay. Alright, we got Walt Smith, alright? With the new just-in-time deliveries that manufacturers, that companies are demanding, late deliveries will hurt your company. Exactly. I mean, it hurts your company. It hurts your company entirely, So, for example, right? If you got a driver that's constantly late, and it's gonna hurt your, reputation with the broker, with the shipper, or whatever, because now this guy he sees is, hey, Cybertron is coming, and those guys are late all the time, and so now one driver is kind of screwing it up for everybody. You know what I'm saying? The owner ops that I have leased onto the company, the company drivers that I have, and so if one person, we got one bad apple in the team, it's like the saying goes, you're only as strong as your weakest link. And if you got one bad apple, among all the good apples, he's gonna spoil everything for you, and he's gonna make he or she, I keep saying he, so I apologize for that, but that driver is gonna literally mess up your reputation, which your reputation is what you want to have it, you know, at the utmost, because you want to be that carrier, you want to be that company that, you know, brokers and shippers are calling because they know that you get the job done, and you get the job done correctly or whatever. So that's a very important thing, you know, with driver performance. And like she said, like Walt said, you know, this whole new era of, you know, just-in-time freight, or, you know, from here to here, 600, 700 miles, get it there in one shot, you know, straight through. There's no really, you got to think about what you have to offer as a company, especially when you're a new company, and what's, you know, what do you have to offer, you know, and if what you have to offer is late, you know, being late and all that kind of stuff, are you really going to be given all the good paying loads? Probably not. And you might, you know, eventually go out of business because nobody might want to take, you know, give you any loads per se. What was the other? And then, so going back, right, you know, there's some companies out here that take, you know, X amount of dollars per week, and, you know, kind of like a driver escrow per se, right? And that is just to pretty much protect the employer, especially when you're running, you know, a single, when you're running, what do you call it? Such a small operation, you know, 10 or less trucks. Drivers abandoning equipment or screwing it up or whatever, that's gonna hurt you, you know. And obviously, damage that a driver can do to your truck can easily, you know, be more than what he makes on a paycheck, easily, like just straight up, you know, because you got, you know, the deductible on the insurance, you know, whether he was loaded or not loaded, and if he trashes your truck, because now you got to fly out and recover a truck, and you got to clean it out, or you got to attempt to try to find the truck, you know, if you don't even know where he or she left the truck. So, you know, some companies have moved over to pretty much making an escrow, per se, to kind of protect themselves, and then they give the escrow back to the driver when it's done, you know. And I have tried two different ways. I tried one way without the escrow, and I have tried one way with the escrow. The one way without the escrow, you put yourself very vulnerable, because let's just say the worst case scenario, you know, you get a driver and then the guy's not happy with, you know, your decision about letting him go. Well, you only got really 1 week paycheck on this guy, you know, and if he decides to like do all the above to your truck, then you're really about to lose a lot of money, you know. And and so then that, you know, that just goes to, you know, how are you gonna break the news out to him? You know, do you tell him or her that, yo, you don't tell him until you see that truck in your possession? Hey, come to the shop. We got to work on something. We gotta work on something or whatever, and then get the truck back in your hands so that you can pretty much let go of the driver, you know. Or if you you had the escrow, then, you know, you really didn't. You just tell the driver, hey, bring it here. This is not going to work out. So I just wanted to talk about that. Always looking for company drivers, and owner operators. So if you guys are interested in either leasing on or becoming a company driver for Cybertron, I pay pretty good, like hella good, all right? And if you're you know, looking to make as much money as possible, you know, whether or not you want to drive a truck for X amount of time to eventually get your own truck, you know, you can come here and I can show you the ropes and the whole nine. So anyways, without further ado, appreciate you guys staying tuned for the live feed. There's probably going to be another live feed tomorrow and another live feed after that. All right, I got to try to catch up on YouTube and you know, talk about a lot of stuff that I had going on my mind. Right. So at the end of the day, folks, it's pretty simple. Get busy living or you get busy dying. It's your boy Hamlet. Check y'all later.